I know a lot of you guys know what I do and everything, but let me just say it outright. At Ohio Fish Rescue, you got that taken care of? At Ohio Fish Rescue, we try and help out. This is the way I figured it out. Instead of saying we rescue fish, I try and say we help out the community as best we can. Now, there's a lot of times when people get a cracked tank and they call us, oh my God, can you come take the fish? Well, if I have a tank of that size laying there, I'll bring that tank, help them swap it out, and they get to keep their fish. And that's one way of helping. Another way was this lady called, and she lives with her boyfriend, and their mom threw them out, and they had no place for their tank. I actually let them bring their tank here and their fish, and I took care of them for, I think it was 9 months.
Is that the one in the kitchen?
It was the one in the kitchen, yeah. And they finally came back and got it when they got a new apartment. And, they were like, wow, the fish have grown so big. And then we gave them a couple other fish, because they were all fancy tail goldfish like in that 350 there. So we found more as we got more in. I just donated them into their tank and took care of them. And, we just try and help the community out as best as possible. So any way that we can help, if you guys know anybody, always call us. But tonight we're going to talk about our biggest rescue and our first rescue. We went all the way across the United States to Washington above Oregon, and it was a 72-hour drive there and back. So 36 one way, 36 back. And I didn't go, but my son Joshie went, my son Richie went, and this one guy that worked for me at the time helping me on my properties. And I stayed at home, and I did all the internet work. They'd tell me what's going on. I'd put it on the internet. And we were part of monsterfish.com. It's a forum. What? Monsterfishkeepers.com. It was a forum, and we kept it up, and it's like a 180-page story with pictures all along the way. So it was really nice. So here we go. We're heading out west, and then this was the guy's tank. His name was Ted, and it was an 8,000-gallon tank. And it was home built, beautiful tank. It was 12 foot deep, 16 foot wide with 2 8-foot panels. And I forget, do you remember how tall it was?
About 8 feet.
Okay, 8 feet tall. Ouch. And, he had it there for I don't know how many years, and he grew these fish huge. And, Washington's up in some cold winter areas. Well, it turned out it ended up leaking, but that's why he called us. But here's the glass going in, and can you imagine heating this outside, like next to Canada? It was insane. But there they are filling up and putting his fish in from he had a 2,200 and a 4,000?
Something like that.
And they're transferring. There's one of the Nigers, and I think that was his son. And he put a top on it and left a full natural sunlight go in. And then you can see all these shop lights or hanging lights from Home Depot. I use them all the time now. But here's the fish. Now remember that window's 8 foot, so that fish is definitely 3 foot. They're filling it up and getting it going, and you got more of them. But now at the same time, while they're doing that and leaving, I'm at home. I have no place to put these fish, so I had to build an addition to my garage. So I'm working frantically. What I come up with was to take the garage door that opens and closes, build an enclosure onto that, because I think the garage door was 8 foot. So we did 8 foot by 8 foot, and then a ceiling. And then I had to match the vinyl siding because the garage was new that we had built. So here we're getting the truck ready. This was a little box truck I had. And Tracy doing what she does. Love her sometimes. This here was an 800-gallon tub that we built for the mission to bring these fish home, because there were 19 of them, 3 to 4 foot. So it was 8 foot by 4 foot inside dimensions by 4 foot tall. It was an 800-gallon tub, and we put a liner in it. And there we are testing it, making sure the water fills. Now you can see these are some of the things we got from Aquarium Adventure. There's my 1,000-gallon tank, which we have now here. This was inside the garage, and the only room we had was where this tub was, so we didn't really have much room left. And then this is the dog bone tank here, shaped like a dog bone, we got from Aquarium Adventure when they closed. These are some of my red tails. that's a Niger cat, tiger shovel nose, and a marble cat. And that's Ricky, and we're putting it up into the truck. The underside is all 2x8s all the way across. It slid right in there and fit good. And then we had to test it with water because if this rear end came down and sat on the tires, you ain't driving nowhere. We had to bring it back, and we had to have that at least a halfway, 3/4 way full to have some water for them fish, because it's 36 hours for all them fish in a tub. You're going to have a filtration system, heating system, and some water for them to swim in. So it passed inspection, and then we took and we covered the top with this plastic. This was just putting it on there, but we stapled it down all the way around, and then I cut. After we put the plastic on, it's only 6 foot here. We've got a 2 foot opening here. We cut a hole out. That's a garbage can, and it's full of bio balls and then fiber floss on top. And the bio balls came off of my filtration system that was running forever, so they were pre-seeded. And we just put a pump in the water, pumping up to a drip tray inside there, and it would go through, and then the hole was on that side and pump the water that way. So it's like a circle inside there. Now this last 2 foot was a removable lid that we could, remove, get the fish in and out. This here we screwed down all the way around, and my next idea was, since I have 3 kids going, let's put a mattress on top of here. One can sleep all the time. Huh? Thought it was genius. Wait till you hear the story about that. So then there's Josh. Look how young he is. We've got an inverter here and a Tetra Tech DW300, AP300, deep water air pump, and that all worked fine. The lid kept coming off, so we taped it down, and you see the mattress now is up top there. We took spare tires, food, water, hoses, and a jack just in case you had to change a tire, stuff like that. And then Josh was getting ready to go. Yes, we had a cracked windshield. Had to take that chance. This is a once in a lifetime thing, and I didn't have time to get a new windshield in. But they break down. They're on the road. I don't know where they are now, but they broke down. And oh no, this ain't breaking down. This is where they stopped to get something to eat. And this is my garage. Now you can tell this is a new garage. See the fascia, not flaky paint or nothing. This is a brand new garage I just had built. We're starting to build the enclosure. This was the garage door on it. And there's the enclosure. It was a rubber roofed. It wasn't going to be there long, a year or two, maybe 3. Because this was the house next door to my house, which was over here, and I had my garage my car was in. I was going to connect them with a building connecting the 2 garages, and that was going to be all fish room. These were my plans before I found this house. So this was built temporarily. We did the stud walls and we did a ceiling on it. This here was going to be a removable door, so you can take it down, get your fish in and out, do whatever, and the garage door opens up and it'll stay open at that point. More of the building and how it got built. This was inside our garage. That's the 1,000-gallon there, and we have the tile bottom in it. Yes, we had coral inserts, but it's stuff I had run across in a deal. So we used them for decoration. So a lot of people gave us flack about it, but the way I told them is, if you're wanting to give me some driftwood, I'll gladly put it in there. But right now, that's what I have. So, and then this was a half a keyhole tank. That was at the end of the aisles at Aquarium Adventure. When you go down one aisle, you had to walk around one tank that had a hanging light above it. That was those tanks. There was one on this side and one on this side. And that's the same heater I'm using now. I took it down out of that garage when we moved and used it over here. They're passing Wyoming here. Here's where they break down. Now they're driving along and all of a sudden the exhaust gets loud. But it wasn't a thing of the pipe cracking. The pipe busted off of the muffler while they're driving forward, and it hit the ground and bent all the piping back. Yeah, to make things worse. So now, yeah, I didn't realize how rusty the truck was underneath, but they got this strap to hold it up. They got a piece of flex pipe in between, and they were able to fix it and go back on the road. So they did good, and they did that on the road, and that was great. They passed by Mount Rushmore, so I told them stop in and enjoy yourself, because even driving on that long, flat road, he said it was the most boring state he's ever been in. It was 8 hours of just straight road, flat. So they stopped in there and had a good time there. Then, okay, they're at, I just said his name. Ted's house, thank you. We still have this tank, this net, believe it or not, I'll show it to you. But these fish ripped holes in it, and Ted took a shoestring and tied it together. So now we've got about 20 shoestrings holding this net together. It still works though. But that's a red-tailed cat, and that's my son Richie, and this is my son Josh. That looks like a big pacu. Niger cat. Another big red tail. They were nice and healthy. See how big and fat and round they were? This was in his tub. Now this was a 12-foot wide tub, and these fish were just packed in there. So you got Nigers, red tails, pacu. No, that's not a pacu. What is that, Josh? There's a pacu. The face looks a little funny there. It's hard to tell with these pictures, but anyways. This was a smaller one. This one was about, was that 6 foot wide? He had a few of these things holding all these fish because his tank broke a leak. And he was just like, I'm done. So now what he did was he put it on Monster Fish Keepers, and everybody's talking about, oh, I want this and I want that. I'll take this fish. He's like, look, someone's got to come take them all. I went on there jokingly and said, woohoo, I'll take them all. I'm in Ohio. I had no plans of going and getting them. I was just being funny. Well, he answered, he's like, they're yours, come get them. And I'm like, oh, what did my mouth get me into? So, yeah, look at the size of that red tail. There's his face, ends right about here, and his tail end about there. He's a big boy. But now, there's Josh up there, get things ready. You see the front cover, and then we got, he took off his shoes, he's got a blanket hanging there, he's ready to go. But now Ted was such a nice guy. He wanted to make sure his fish made it. He gave us 2 batteries to run a, what's that thing called? Power inverter. And he gave us a 3,000 watt power inverter. We went there with an 800 watt power inverter because the FX5 that we were running on the outside was 300 watts, and the pump that was on the inside was only like 150 watts. So we had plenty, and then the air pump was only like 30 watts. The 800 was fine. He gave us he went up to Harbor Freight and bought 2 brand new batteries and the 3,000 watt power inverter to make sure his fish got home. And then he gave us gas cans. Oh, he also gave us a mini little generator. It runs like 5 hours on 1 tank of gas, and he gave us 5 gallons of gas to go for it. And the tank of gas was like a half-gallon tank. He wanted to make sure his fish got home safely. So he gave us all that stuff. Oh, very nice guy. And they're getting ready to leave now. Josh is going to take first sleep in the back of the truck. This is funny now. So I'm at home. We got the building done. We're putting the house wrap on it. The roofing's on. I built the removable wall. And there's Tracy. And to do that, we insulated it next. We're putting the vinyl siding on. Now here's the thing. Right here we've got this corner piece. You can't see the picture, but it's screwed on this wall, but not on this wall. To get this back on and off, it's not easy. You have to get these pieces of vinyl siding to go in between that piece and then this lip right here. It's like a little chamber like this. And someone has to hold that while you're putting the wall up. It's kind of a pain, so you don't want to move it unless you really need to, but it was a removable wall. So we finished it up. We got plastic wrap all on it, and there it is. It's done. We finished it. Here's Josh pulling in home, and there's the inside. The removable wall had all this. That you'd think insulation don't weigh much, but to move that piece of wall with the 2x4s and the vinyl siding and the insulation, it was like 250 pounds. It was a pain. But you see the one tank we got there. We were going to put all the little tanks out here because we made a pool in the middle of the garage for all the big fish. So we're taking down the wall now. There's Jim holding it. There's Tracy in the pool. There's a 12-foot round pool. And you see how it fits in the garage now. We still have this dog bone tank. That's in the fish room now. We still have the 1,000. We got rid of that keyhole and that keyhole. And we obviously got rid of the pool then. But here we are carrying fish in. and they made him back alive, and we didn't lose one fish in that whole entire trip. But I think I'm getting ahead of myself. The one thing I said about Josh sleeping first, they drove for I don't know how many hours. They were halfway home, and they pull into a gas station. My son Richie and Rick went inside to get some food, go to the bathroom and all that. They left Josh sleeping in the back. Why, I don't know. They should have woke him up to go to the bathroom and all that. They left him sleep, right? And next thing you know, Richie and Rick come out from getting food, and they got, chips and all this and pop and stuff. And they come out, and there's a crowd around the truck. And they're like, what the hell, They go up by there, and everyone starts yelling at him and screaming at him for getting this little kid drunk. Josh was 15 at the time. Because what happened was we used Prime, and we primed the water, and then he was in a sealed environment. If you ever really smelled Prime, that stuff stinks. Well, it had gotten from splashing, it had gotten so thick of Prime smelling in there that when Josh opened the door and got fresh air, he took one step down the bumper, and he got dizzy as hell and fell to the ground. So all the other people at the gas station come running up to him thinking he's drunk. They're helping him up, and he's like, what's going on? And he had actually fainted. So they're thinking he's drunk. They actually called the police. So now the police are coming, and they're yelling at my other son, and he's like flabbergasted, don't know what's going on. The police show up and breathalyze Josh. He wasn't drunk, and they let him go. It was just crazy that Prime would do that to him. And the rest of the time, they tied the door shut and left a 2x4 to let some air in there. But anyways, we're back home now and filling the pool. What we did was, see the water's all messy? We took half of the water out of the 800-gallon tub and put it into this pool before putting our fresh water in so that we can transfer them from their water to their water. And so that's why it looks a little scummy. They've been in that water for 36 hours. And look at the size of that red tail, though.
We still have all the nigers and the iridescents from this.
Do we? I know we got the one Niger. I didn't know the red tails from that. But anyways, there was our fish. Oh, Josh, see the albino channel cat? I've got 3 coming. Joe from Nebraska. Did you hear about it? Okay, I told him to bring him because he wasn't going to. I told him to bring him because you like the albino channel cats. So Tracy's, look at Tracy. She's doing what she does best, vacuuming up the water off the floor. I love that when she does that. It makes me feel so like it was worth it, She does this for me, and she doesn't complain. I love it. But here's the pool now, full of all their fish. There was our homemade filters. We had been seasoning these bio balls for a while now. I had 55-gallon drums full of bio balls going into our stuff. So we put them in these tubs. The top one was full of fiber floss. The bottom one was full of bio balls. And then it came back. And we ended up doing more. That's my oldest son, Richard. And there's some of the fish. Close-ups of them. They were big boys. Just to get a little size comparison there. These nigers, that's the ones we still got. I know that. And that was our trip all the way to Washington and back, saving these fish. And we did not lose one fish.